What up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to review the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 15 Reunion Part 2. So if you haven't seen the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 15 Reunion Part 2, turn the video off right now. Go watch the episode. Come back and watch this video. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's a simple and free way to support my channel, and it literally takes less than 4 seconds. So if you're spending 4 seconds watching this video, you can definitely hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, because I don't only review the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just finished reviewing The Shy, and I got to review Power after this, the new Tommy Power. Also, I am not a public speaker, so I will tend to stutter. I might pause to regain my thoughts. I'm definitely going to be looking at my notes right here that I take throughout the show. You're going to hear 1,000 uhs, 1,000 so's. It is what it is. Anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. These are my thoughts and expressions, my opinions. No one's paying me to be biased or say anything towards anyone, towards or against anyone. Got my big water bottle right here. I don't know if I graded the part 1 of the reunion. Like I said in my review of the part 1 of the reunion, this is my first time reviewing a reunion ever, so I don't even know how my format goes. I don't even know if I grade. I don't know if I graded part 1. Part 1, I would probably say like a C+. This part 2, I give it like a B-, just because Drew sounded good. I'm gonna give her that. But other than that, probably B- or whatever. Last chance, if you haven't seen the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 15 Reunion Part 2, turn this video off right now, because I'm about to spoil the entire thing. Okay. That took a lot out of me to say. But let me get my shit sparked, because I be too busy trying to talk and spark at the same time that I be just letting the J burn. Not today, Satan. I'm going to make sure I burn this junk before I start talking. Make sure it's lit right before I start talking. Let me see. Maybe. Okay. Maybe I will keep lighting it. I don't know. So they basically rewind the conversation that Courtney and Drew and Andy was having before it went off on the reunion, the part 1 of the reunion. So they asked Courtney, what did Ralph tell you about Drew before the blogs hit? So Courtney was like, well, he was hurt that she was lying and projecting what she was doing onto him. So Andy was like, do you believe the affair? And you know, Courtney, she was like, I absolutely do. Of course I do. So Drew was like, Courtney don't know a damn thing. Ralph been coaching her what to say all season. And then they like I said, they show what we already had seen. Drew piping up on Courtney like, don't you ever talk about my son, this, that, and the third. And they tell Courtney she was being recorded. She didn't know it, but she claims she did know it. That's why she repeats herself. Cringe. So Courtney and Drew, they just going back and forth. Kenya starts telling Courtney she wrong because Courtney started bringing the kids into it. Courtney's like, I'm not talking to you. Kenya's like, but I'm talking to you, boo-boo. Sonya chimes in like, kids are off limits, guys. Kids are off limits. Like I said in the reunion part 1, I said Kemet. Sonya gave me the looks. I liked Sonya's look. She looked the best for me. For me, it was, like I said, it was Sonya, then Courtney, then Sheree if she took off the bustier. If Sheree took off that corset, then I would be all okay. So Andy asked Drew, did you actually visit Ty in Texas? Because remember, Courtney said that on camera on the finale. And Drew was like, yeah, I went to her game. So what? She started stuttering. And at the end of the day, she's been coached what to say by Ralph. And she's conjuring up things and regurgitating it. So Andy asked Courtney, when did Ralph tell you he was filing for divorce? So Courtney says when he was sure that Drew had the affair, when he had the evidence. So Andy was like, well, and when was that? And Courtney was like, I don't remember quite, somewhat. So Andy was like, well, was it after Portugal? Of course, Courtney was like, yeah, it was after Portugal. So Andy asked Candy, like, what do you know about this Drew and Marlo situation, rumors and all that? I said Drew and Marlo. Drew and Ty, Marlo, Drew and Ty. I told y'all my words be fighting each other. What you ask Candy, what you know about this Drew and Ty rumors and all that? So Candy all I know is that she called Ty her girl crush, and it got back to somebody who brought Ty the next day to set, and then Ty started coming around the set all the damn time. They make it seem like Ty heard somebody call her cute, call her crush, and just start popping up every day. Like, okay, let me see if I can. I don't know. Like, it was weird the way they said she just she started popping up after Drew said that. It makes you think, like, was Drew actually entertaining it? Because why would she keep coming every day? They said she was coming regularly now. So Andy, messy ass, Sheree and Marlo, what do you guys know? So Marlo like, I'm going to just stay quiet. Sheree was like, well, I received some info the other day. Andy was like, it came to the chateau? Sheree was like, it came to the chateau, honey. She said, I received some information that paints Drew and Ty's relationship in another light. So she pulls out the envelope, hands it to Andy. Andy was like, did you meet the person? Did you see the person? No, what she saying? What did he ask? Did you meet the person that dropped the stuff off, the info off? Did you meet him in person? Sheree was like, no. I was like, this is that bullshit. Somebody said that shit in your dressing room before you came out there. Stop the bullshit, Sheree. So Andy was like, these seem to be alleged messages between Ty and Drew. Drew never really said they wasn't hers. She was just like, we're very friendly. Andy was like, they look very incriminating. So Kenya and Candy started reading them. Can't. Ooh, see? Can't. So Kenya was like, I don't see anything that looks incriminating. And Candy was like, you ain't see that? They scrolling through the stuff. They never really let Drew see it. But Drew also not even denying him, even though she hasn't seen him. So they're asking Drew, like, are the texts real? That's what we want to know. So Drew's like, I don't know. I can't see them stuttering. I can't see him. And, you know, Ralph is very good at stuff like this. Like, he single-handedly took down the IRS or some shit she said. I was just like, what? Candy rolling her eyes. I'm just like, yes, Candy, we feeling what you... Candy facial expressions be hilarious. So before Monyetta and Courtney's little segment, and you know, Andy and the ladies, they giving Monyetta props like kudos to you having an orphanage in Africa. Monyetta said she done had that done for 11 years. Big ups to Monyetta. Big up. That's Jamaican, but you know, Africa. So they take a little break, and Marlo and Sheree in their dressing room talking about something. Candy is mad, honey. Candy is mad. Candy not even that mad. Candy looked like she was chilling. And then how Sheree supposed to make Candy so mad, but then you walk up to her and handle the bag, talking about some Saint pulling out the little thing. Like, what? It makes no sense. Sheree said she only came for Candy because Candy be coming for her every week. She come for the whole cast, don't she? I don't watch Speak on it personally, but if I'm not mistaken, that's her talking about the whole episode. So if she's talking about the whole episode, she's talking about all her cast members. Not just you, Sheree. Courtney goes to Ralph trying to spill the tea because you know she just came off stage. Allison walking past. Courtney tries to close the door on Allison. Allison's like, don't you dare close the door on me. Courtney called Allison a bitch too. Allison was like, I thought you didn't use that word. Courtney was like, I do now. So Courtney telling Ralph, your wife is such a compulsive liar. I know that's your wife and you love her, but you can't continue to let her disrespect you. And I'm just like, dang, who putting what into who head? Because they making it seem like Ralph is the one, what she say, coaching Courtney. Listen to all this stuff Courtney saying to Ralph. And Ralph just sitting there. Ralph tried to look like a dumb puppy this whole episode, though. Like, nigga, we know you foul. We know you foul. So this is when they show the clips of the girls, the ladies throughout the season talking about sex or doing sex-related stuff. They call the segment Peach Hub. We get it. So after the segment's over, Kenya was like, well, you know, the movie Twa that I was in, Marlo shady ass, you could hear her talking about something. How many years ago that come out? But Kenya was like, my movie Twa was the first time you seen black people on screen having a threesome. I was just like, did you just make that? I feel like Kenya had just pulled that out her ass. I don't know. Is that true? Like, somebody got to look that up. I should have looked that up before I... Damn. Fuck that. I'm looking it up. I don't care. What type of bullshit is that? Is the movie Twa, Trois, the first time black people had a threesome on film? I mean, is the movie Twa the first time black people had a threesome in a movie? It don't say. It just starts talking about Menage a Trois, and then they give an IMMD or whatever of the movie. Fuck it. That's probably something she could run with, and can't nobody verify that. So can't nobody verify. So you win, Kenya. Also, it's not big of a flex as you think it is, but okay. So Andy asked the ladies, have any of you used Candy's vibrators yet? And Sonya was like, well, you know, in the package they showed when Candy was like, my Candy, she say candy coated. What's her business name? Candy coated bedroom or something like that. Bedroom Candy has been responsible for orgasms all over the world or something like that, and I'm very proud of that. Remember, she said that on the show. So when Andy asked if any of the ladies used the vibrators yet, the little peach jumps that she promoted at her little 10-year anniversary party, Sonya was like, she is responsible for a couple more orgasms now. Obviously, responsible for that baby. So, you know, Andy messy ass had to bring up, well, he didn't bring it up. A fake question came in. Why are you guys getting on Kenya about eating ass like it's the baddest thing in the world? Like, don't you guys act like you haven't done it. Da-da-da. So all the ladies start talking about who done it, who hasn't. So then they asked, so Sheree was like, Candy, what's the freakiest thing you've done? Kenya shady ass. And how many people were involved? So somebody says orgy. Candy was like, what do you consider an orgy? And Andy was like, 4 or more people. And Candy was like, I guess so. Yeah. Candy was like, how does that word? Just like tap, tap, tap in. Marlo was like, my best sex has been with a Gemini. And Andy's a Gemini. I was just like, random and no one cares. Random and no one cares, Marlo. Why you just randomly bring that up? I mean, I guess they was talking about sex, but nobody asked you. Andy was like, Marlo, please do not bring up our sexual escapades out in public. I was like, is Andy really liking Marlo right now? So we get to the part where Sonya talks about losing her baby. Says she lost the baby about a week or 2 after the filming had wrapped. And she said it was super traumatic for her. Like when she told her mom, she lost a lot of blood. She almost fainted. She tells the ladies this. She was like, but by the grace of God, 1 month later, she is pregnant. She said, but this time she ain't tell nobody. She said she only told Marlo. You ain't tell your husband? She said she waited until the 4-month marker. So this nigga Andy be knowing when to ask stuff. So he like, how's the support from the ladies been? So Sonya was like, well, Kenya, I was a little disappointed in you because everyone reached out, sent flowers, and you just kind of dismissed it. And Kenya was like, I called you, Sonya. You did not answer. She was like, I know we had this whole pregnancy bond. We were supposed to get pregnant together, be pregnancy twins and all that. So I know you expected from me, and I definitely reached out to you, and you didn't answer. And she was like, I don't know what miscommunication happened, but I definitely reached out. And Sonya was like, okay. Sonya was coming for Kenya the whole reunion. I was like, damn. I was like, girl, you shading her too. You shading her too. You be shading her too, Sonya. I ain't the biggest Kenya fan, but come on, Sonya, you be shading her too. Don't act like it like she just out here doing you wrong. So a question is asked, Sonya, do you regret the way you told your sister she had to move out? So Sonya was like, I don't regret the way it happened. Like, families say things. It is what it is. So it was like, have the family moved out? She was like, yes, they moved out. But they moved 5 minutes away. Marlo was like, she'd be there every damn day. So it's not even like they left, basically, if she be over there every day. Yes, I got the scissors just in case my J got the bleeding. And I had to cut this bitch. Cut that shit, you're bleeding. Wipe your mouth, you're bleeding. What's that from Rush Hour, right? Wipe yourself, you're bleeding. So Andy, he asked Kenya, we talking about babies and stuff, asking Kenya about Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn said, I want both, brother and sister. She's like, are you any closer to getting her that bunk bed and the baby brother? And Kenya was like, well, she actually changed her mind. Now she wants a baby sister. Like she said, she want both. That's what she basically wants. She want both. One day she gonna say she want a little brother. One day she gonna say she want a little sister. Babies change their mind. But Kenya, she said she decided to adopt. So all the ladies was like, oh, that's what's up. And you know, Andy, oh no, he went through surrogacy. I was about to say Andy adopted his baby. He didn't. But they all was like, that's what's up. So Sheree asked her, like, what age you thinking about? So Kenya gonna talk about something, maybe 2 or 3 after they learn to walk and talk. I'm like, oh, so you just don't want to do none of the hard shit. You want to already be potty trained and all that. So you ain't got to worry about it. I thought she was going to say she wanted a baby that was like, baby. So a question is asked to Sonya, how could she question Kenya's friendship when when Kenya helped her raise money for charity, but Sonya still be shading her with Marlo? And I'm like, exactly. Like, you should just leave that alone. Let you and Kenya be where y'all gonna be. Because you keep calling her out when you doing shady shit too. Just leave it be. Because if Kenya ain't calling it out, leave it alone. Like, so Kenya's like, I like Sonya, but it's been so many times where she's had to question Sonya's loyalty to her or her ability to not be biased when it comes to her and Marlo getting into it. And I was like, exactly. So they showed a clip when Sonya's saying that's a double standard with the whole Kenya getting DM'd by Martell and Marlo getting DM'd by Roy. So Sonya was like, well, when in that instant I was called, like I always do, I was calling out a double standard. So Kenya was like, but you never call Marlo out for stuff. So Sonya was like, I called Marlo out when she recorded the conversation and sent it to Latoya. And they showed a clip where Sonya called Marlo out. And Kenya was like, I don't remember that. They was protecting Sonya a little bit. Because I was like, Sonya, there's been other instances where you did shady shit. So Andy brings up this tweet where Kenya said that Marlo had to be shamed into making a donation at Sonya's Mommy Nation, but that's supposed to be her besties and da. So Marlo was like, I of course would have donated to my bestie. She was like, my account was called and the deposit was cleared right away. You know how Marlo is. It was cleared right away. So that's when Sonya was like, well, Marlo, she told me beforehand that she wasn't going to raise her paddle for you. Basically, she don't fuck with Kenya. She was just going to give her the money, write her the check, whatever. I was like, that's petty as hell. And also, Sonya, why you... Candy brings this up later, but in that moment, I was like, Sonya, why do you feel like you got to defend everybody else? Let them defend their own self. That was Marlo's question. I mean, I guess Sonya was in the question, but still, it was like directed towards Marlo. And Marlo answered as dumbly as she could. The check cleared, honey. Whatever she said. So Sonya calling out Kenya again says she genuinely tried to be a friend to Candy on. Says she genuinely tried to be a friend to Kenya on camera. I noticed that she said on camera. Says she questions if Kenya is trying to as well, and says that Kenya does calculating things that work on camera. It's called producing. She's a producer, bitch. You have to deal with. She one of the OGs, so to speak. So she gonna be producing. Sonya says it was a good look for Kenya to raise the money. Kenya was like, I don't have to give you my money or my time. So Sonya was like, she was like, all you ladies helped 18 homeless women. Say all you women sitting on this couch helped 18 moms who were suffering with homelessness. Kenya was like, don't minimize that. Sonya was like, I'm just saying in that moment she was appreciative, but then there are, she says, opportunities for Kenya to be her friend off camera and she don't show up for her. She says she wonders if Kenya is trying to genuinely be her friend. She says to herself, if I almost lost my life, wouldn't I think my friend would reach out? She just said she did. To me, Kenya giving Sonya ass too much grace. Because Sonya was throwing hella shade this season. It's like, girl, you ain't slick. So, of course, a question comes in. Candy, why don't you just leave the show or take a break? Because you never show up for the ladies and you don't want to show your personal life on camera. So Candy was like, that's a lie, which we all know. She has showed her personal life plenty of times. She brings up her show, OLG Gang. I mean, what's it called? Candy and the Gang. I don't watch it, but apparently all they little dirty laundry came out on that show, apparently she said. And it was funny because the question that came in was from somebody named Sheree. So Candy was like, Sheree, what'd she say? She said Sheree knows the most about taking breaks. And Sheree was like, you the most lackluster cast member on the show. That's why they had to keep bringing me back. Somebody, I've been asked to come back more than I've been back. Some respect the OG, honey. Sheree killed me, bruh. Respect the OG, honey. Somebody, I made history. So Andy gives Candy congrats on her Emmy and Tommy. I said Tommy. Emmy and Tony nominations. She says they all invested in her EGOT, of her getting the EGOT. I was like, are they? Now they're right side of the couch. They like, fuck that EGOT. Fuck her. You know how they feel. Except for probably Sonya. You know Sheree and Marlo was over there. He did. He did. So Andy asked Candy, how was it being at the Tony Awards? So Candy was like, it felt amazing, like a dream come true. She was like, the Tony Award is the hardest award of them all to get. I was like, okay, Candy, big flex, big flex. Then Andy mentions that Candy will be producing the upcoming Broadway show, the upcoming Broadway remake of The Wiz. Candy was like, so that mean me and Drew can audition, right? Candy was like, it's already fully casted. Boop. Drew talk about some Lifetime and up. This bitch about to do Broadway. I mean, she already did Broadway. Well, yeah. So this is when they bring up the whole Marlo's nephew, Candy's restaurant situation. So Andy's like, how did this issue, he asked Marlo, how did this issue between you and Candy come about 2 years later? So Marlo was like, well, it was a shooting at her most recent restaurant, Blaze. And she says, my nephew who worked at her restaurant was shot and killed 2 years ago. She was like, well, how would that not trigger me? I was just like, it's just not, no. So Andy was like, well, did it bother you 2 years ago? So Marlo was like, it bothered me the day I left her house. So Candy was like, well, we had a real emotional moment at my house, so I don't even understand where it's coming from. So Marlo was like, well, I just wanted more from you, Candy. So Candy was like, well, a couple of days later, when the funeral was going on and stuff, you texted me about joining Cameo, getting to a bag. So where was all this send flowers and all that then? So Andy asked Candy, like, would you do anything different? And Candy was like, I don't feel like I did anything, like, bad towards her. And Marlo was like, really? You don't think you could have just sent some flowers, a piece of chicken? I was like, Marlo, shut your dumb ass up. Not a piece of chicken. But anyway. So Candy was like, so you telling me we fell out that bad because of some flowers? Because I ain't seen you flowers. So Marlo was like, no, I just expected more from you, and that's okay. She was like, you could have called and sung to my sister. Candy was like, I ain't know her like that. I don't know your sister like that, to be calling her up and singing to her. So Andy asked Marlo, why were you so upset that Drew wouldn't say the word shooting? So Marlo like, because when it comes to these ladies, this is one thing I will give Marlo on. This point she made right here, I will back her up on that. This is true. She's like, when it comes to me, these ladies don't watch their word choice, so why do it with Candy? So I was like, okay, I get her on that. On that one little part. You got me right there on that one little jump, Marlo. I got you on that one. She said Candy also gave Drew a look in that moment, like to shut up. And they showed Candy's face, and she didn't really look like she was saying shut up. She was just like, yeah, we know what happened. She probably was irritated Drew brought it up, but it don't look like she was telling Drew to shut up. But Drew probably felt that and was just like, maybe I shouldn't have brought it up. But they did. But somebody said that, I saw this somewhere online that right before that scene happened, someone was told, somebody came, one of the producers came in or something and told them, like, y'all gotta make this shit look popping. Like give us something. Give us some more drama or something. I don't remember. But, so then Candy was like, y'all want to keep holding me to the fire, but not one person brought up stuff not going right on Sheree's website. So Sheree was like, you did. So Candy was like, yeah, but my point is that my stuff wasn't going right for me either. And Marlo was like, what stuff wasn't going right for you? So Candy was like, what happened at her restaurant? And Candy was like, that was negative for my business. So here go Marlo ass. This negative stuff always happening at your business. So what? Who cares? I was like, bruh. So Candy was like, in that moment where she said, where Drew didn't say shooting, she felt like Marlo was trying to challenge the ladies to, was trying to get the ladies to challenge Candy on what happened at her business, try to make her speak out and say something. So Marlo was like, no, I wasn't. That's exactly what she was trying to do. You said it, basically. Because she was like, when people don't say stuff, I mean, people don't say nothing when it comes to Candy. So Candy was like, you've always been jealous every time things are going well for me, Marlo. Marlo was like, jealous where? Because Andy was like, are you jealous of Candy, Marlo? Marlo was like, jealous where? Marlo was like, I live a soft life. She worked too hard for me. So Drew, she tried to chime in. And I was just like, oh, Drew, shut up. She's like, this conversation, Marlo should have pulled Candy to the side. Should have been between them two. Marlo was like, be quiet and worry about your marriage. Drew was like, we're not there for you to speak on my marriage. Marlo was like, yes, we are. You're on a reality show. She was like, you're on reality TV. I think that's where I was like, yeah, Marlo MVP. Because she was eating it up a little bit. Yes, we are. You're on reality TV. So Sonya, she tries to chime in. You know, Candy, Marlo, you both had valid reasons. Candy was like, but Marlo kept changing her story. And she said at first it was why was Drew's not saying shooting. And Sonya was like, well, that was Marlo's issue with Drew, not you. And again, Sonya sitting up there like speaking for Marlo. Like she was speaking for Marlo earlier. So this is when Candy was like, I don't even want to be arguing with you about her. Because that's what we was doing all season. And I was like, yeah, see, that's what it is. Sonya, you defending Marlo ass too much. So now they about to bring Ralph out. Can you ask Andy, what do you do after reunions? And Andy was like, go to a big fucking tequila or some shit. Big fucking tequila. Run to a fucking tequila. So this nigga Ralph is here. God damn, this nigga Ralph is here. Where am I? Oh, I got lost in my notes. Okay, yeah. So Ralph is here. So, I mean, they showed on the finale that Ralph and Drew still living together, co-parenting. So they Andy asked him, are you guys communicating in the house? Ralph's like, first Ralph's like, Drew, you want to answer? And Drew just like, go ahead. So Ralph is like, well, we just in there trying to do what's best for the kids, basically. So Andy's like, Drew, how does it feel to be out here with Ralph? And Drew's not trying to answer. They like, girl, you got to answer. You on a fucking reality show. So Drew's like, we're here. So Drew hands Andy ass her and these prompts. At least she ain't throw it this time. She hands Andy a peach talking about some, can you get at the Ralph? Because that's what he wants. He wants his moment. He wants to be a peach so bad. Andy's just like, oh my gosh, I'm still eating this plum you threw. So Andy asks, like, where does things stand between you two and your divorce? Ralph was like, we're going through mediation. So everybody was like, okay. And he was like, that's hopeful. So he's like, is there any rules as far as them living under the same roof? So Ralph like, Drew, you want it? Drew's like, I'm giving you your moment. Take it. So, Ralph, I don't know what you're doing right now. Ralph's like, I don't even know why you're here. Here you go, Andy. We invited him here. Shady ass. We invited him here, actually. So Ralph was like, I love my wife. I'm here because my children need to see the correct representation of their dad, because it's a lot of slanderous things she been putting out there, and I just want to make sure everybody knows the truth. So Andy's like, does the kids know that y'all are separated? Drew's like, no. So they asked, fan question, were you guys fronting the whole season like you were good on the show, or did something happen after filming? What was up with that? So Drew was like, well, everyone has gotten a clear view into our marriage. And I'm just like, not really. Because like the first 6 episodes, y'all was good, and then the rest of them, I don't know. Might be more than that. I don't remember because I ain't that invested. So she was like, I do believe that I do believe in the sacredcy of marriage, and I feel like some things shouldn't be plastered all over TV. Like Marlo said, but you're on reality TV. It's supposed to be your life, reality. It's for people so people can relate. So Andy's like, how? Because she's like, I've been protecting my family, protecting him. So Andy's like, how have you protected Ralph? So Drew gets quiet, and Ralph's like, it's infidelity. And now that I've watched the whole part 2 of the reunion, I feel like it was something else. Because Allison said something about a PI, and he's saying infidelity. It might be with a man or something. She ain't trying to put it out there because she got quiet and he had to come in. It's infidelity, Yeah, that's what it is. It's infidelity. That's what it is, yeah. So let's talk about that. So Andy was like, have you been faithful to her? And Ralph was like, it would have came out already. And Andy was like, that's not my question. Have you been faithful to her? Ralph was like, yes, of course I would have. It would have been all over the blogs by now. Somebody would have came out. So Andy asked Drew, have you been faithful your entire marriage? And Drew was like, absolutely. So that's when Ralph was like, then what about Ty? So Drew was like, you just going to sit here and play in my face right now? You going to play in my face right now? So Ralph was like, I don't want to go back and forth. Drew was like, you've been playing in my face for 3 years. So today you need to show up as a different man. Something like that. She was like, you always putting other women before me. Always put me in positions where I'm embarrassed. She was like, and I done stayed the course with your ass through and through. So Ralph was like, I initiated the divorce. And Drew was like, that's only after I was speaking to a divorce attorney. And he was like, why does it matter who filed first? So Drew says that Ralph quit counseling because Dr. Kim was holding him accountable, and Ralph didn't like that. So then he left therapy and went and created this narrative with Mimi Foss, the Ty Young narrative, apparently, allegedly. So Ralph was like, well, Drew, your assistant is the one that actually told me that you and Drew had something going on. That you and Ty had something going on. So Drew was like, that's a lie and all that. The lady started low-key backing him up, saying that your assistant was out there saying that you was fucking with Ty. So Drew was like, y'all need to stop lying on that innocent man. She's like, y'all need not to talk about what y'all don't know about. I'm just like, if he going around telling them, they can speak on it. So she pulls out her phone, shows some alleged text messages. I ain't gonna say there's some alleged text message between Ralph and another woman, but apparently Andy's reading the messages and Ralph doesn't even respond. But Drew's like, that's his number. So Angie's like, it's a woman with a big butt, and it says, "Are you gonna bring me back that dick?" White ass. So Drew says, "What she say?" She was like, "I thought you would come out and do the right thing, but instead you out here embarrassing me furthermore." Ralph says that it's just a catfish, and you can see that he doesn't respond at all to these text messages. He says Drew got the same text messages, but she's not showing that part. It's just like, I don't know who to believe because Drew has me lying. If she would have told more, if Drew would have told the truth more coming on this show, I probably would be siding with her completely. But I don't know who to believe in every situation. In each instance, I don't know who to believe because she be lying so much. So I don't know. It's like I feel sorry for her too because it's like I wouldn't wish divorce on somebody, but it's like I don't be knowing what to believe. So yeah, so he says that the same person that's texting him that stuff is texting Drew, but she ain't showing that. And he says that that's those text messages are the reason why Drew put online that he was a serial cheater, that Ralph was a serial cheater. He was like, it's damaging and it's not true. So Andy's like, fuck all that. What happened in Vegas? What happened in Vegas? So Ralph was like, I was at a work event. So the lady was like, well, did you audition for that Chocolate City movie? So Ralph Nutass tried to say he made it up. Ralph Nutass tried to say Drew made it up. So that's when Drew was like, Candy, did I make that up? And then they show a clip of Candy calling the casting director of the movie saying that Ralph did audition. And I was just like, what the hell did you just lie and say she made it up for? Then he tried to backtrack something. So no, I was just saying like, I get what he was saying too. He was saying like, because he said that, because that's what they do on the show. They only want the messiness of it. So he was like, well, they only took that part and just said that was the whole reason why I was going to Vegas. He was like, I actually was going to Vegas for work. And that just happened to be, he said I was actually already going to Vegas for work. And that happened, the audition that happened to be around the same time. And he went out and did audition too. So I was like, okay. I kind of get that part. Like, they only took the meat and potatoes of it and ran with it. But to just say she made the whole thing up, it was just like, damn, you just ran with that. And they show a clip of Ralph at a conference. He can barely pronounce the damn name of the conference. I was like, are you really there, Ralph, or did you just take somebody's name tag right quick and do a quick little boomerang? Like, what? It was just weird. So Drew, she steady going on and on about how Ralph ain't shit. Then she says that Ralph sent those papers to Sheree house. Sheree was like, hold on now. She was like, hold on now. I ain't say Ralph sent them to my house. I don't even know if you know where I live at. So Ralph was like, can I see the papers? He started looking at them and stuff. Sheree's house. So Andy asked Ralph if he thinks Drew is dealing with multiple women, slept with multiple women or something like that. And Ralph was like, yes. He was like, yeah, she brung Ty to my birthday party. He was like, and the streets been talking. I'm like, you sound like a peach holder right now. The streets been talking, Ralph. So Drew was like, you literally just told me this week that you're getting blowjobs around the world. So Ralph started laughing. It's like, that's just something funny to say. Like, it's not believable. And he was like, it's not? Ralph had a gut look on his face like he didn't expect Andy to say it's not. Nigga, that's what his job is, to host and say them type of things. Ralph was caught off guard. He was like, it's not believable. So this is when Andy brings up the things that Courtney said about Drew's son and the whole adoption thing. So Ralph was like, it's only 3 reasons to adopt: abandonment, abuse, and death. He was like, Drew's son's father is in his life, and I wouldn't want to take that away from another black man by adopting his son and all that. So I was just like, okay. This nigga Ralph know how to play. He know how to play in your face. Like she said, like Drew said, playing in your face. He's saying all the right shit. And it's like, okay, sometimes we kind of agree, but then it's like, you still a fuck nigga. So Angie's like, is there any hope for a reconciliation? So Ralph's like, I love my life. I love my wife. I always have, always will. It's just challenging. So Andy asked Drew, you still love Ralph? Drew's like, of course I love my husband. There's just so many issues. And he just be like, fuck my feelings. And I gave you all my 30s and you broke my heart every year of my 30s. I was like, damn. By 35, I probably been like, every year of your 30s? He done broke your heart? So she was like, you never acknowledged my feelings. You never done right by me. Da, da, da. Ralph's like, so you saying I ain't gave you a great life at all? That's what I'm like. He ain't give you nothing. He broke your heart every year of your 30s. So Drew's going on. You talked about my parents, ban my sister, no petition for my son, and I was like, what does the no petition mean? Does that have to do with the adoption? Because didn't he just explain why he wouldn't adopt the son? I don't know. Maybe it's something else they talking about. So he was like, you constantly throw dirt on my name, and you think it's a game, and you coach your cousin to come out here and come for your wife on this show. Like, well, you think I'm supposed to be okay with that? She starts getting emotional. Ralph was like, you really acting right now. Like, you need to be serious. You're not even being serious. So Drew gets up, fuck this shit. I'm out. Like, I'm not about to tolerate this. I don't tolerate this at home. I ain't about to tolerate this now. I'm out. Like, I'm done. Leaves the stage. So she upset. Backstage, emotional. They touching her up. And so this is when Allison's like, why don't you talk about the PI? So I'm like, the PI? What's going on? Because I ain't like how quick Ralph tried to jump in. Oh, the infidelity. The infidelity. So Allison's like, why don't you bring up the PI? And Drew's like, I'm not about to say certain things. There's certain things that I'm just not going to air on TV. I'm like, girl, if he out here playing your face, why not reveal some stuff on him? Talk about something I'm not about to. Nah, I don't even know what it is. Probably ain't shit. I don't know. So Andy, they back on stage. Andy's asking Ralph, like, how does it feel seeing Drew walk off stage like that? So Ralph's like, I always want my wife to be in a good space, and I'm always supporting her. I'm always supportive of her. So Andy was like, well, I don't think that reads on camera. And Ralph was like, and I think that's the big problem. So Kenya chimes in. She's like, you can't be saying you supporting your woman, but when she tells you someone calls her a bitch and she has a problem with it, and you just like everybody calls you a bitch, get over it. You can't say you supporting her. Andy was like, or you can't talk about the Ike and Tina jokes. So Kane was like, a wife wants to hear, I'm sorry, they made you feel that way, just that and the third. So Marlo chimes in, I've always told you guys, I've been giving you support. Like, I ain't never been married, but I want you guys to work it out because you have a beautiful family. A whole bunch of nonsense. Drew backstage still going off. I know Ralph sent them papers to Sheree house. He sent them. So Andy asked Ralph, did you have any thought of like going after Drew when she walked off? Ralph was like, I did. He didn't. He wanted his camera time, like she said. That's why she gave him that peach. Why even be there? Y'all divorced. Why even be there? Well, he said that they asked him there. But it's just like, still, you could have declined. So, Kenya, she loved to like kind of low-key come at a man. Or just put a man in this place. It ain't a season if she don't do it. So she's like, is it the same thing when I told Mark that the other housewives were saying things about me and he just said, you're a big girl, you can handle yourself. So Kenya's right and she's coming from a good space, but she always, every time I turn around, she trying to put a man in his place. Even if he is wrong, it's just like, girl, stay out of it. So Kenya, she telling Ralph, You siding with Drew's enemy because Courtney has all this ammunition for Drew that she could have only gotten from you. So Kanye was like, you are colluding with her enemies because you know she don't get along with Courtney. So Ralph's like, well, as my cousin, me and Courtney are getting to know each other and building our own relationship as cousins. People speculating they fucking. I wouldn't put it past them. They ain't related. They related by marriage. So you say marriage, they ain't really related. He says Courtney just checking on something. So Kenya was like, well, I just see so many similarities from your marriage, from my marriage with you two, and I'm just trying to give you a perspective outside the marriage who's experienced it. And Ralph was like, how long were you married again? And Kenya was like 2 years. Should have asked how long she been divorcing. 4, 5 years. That's also another reason why you should just stay out of it, because they could call you on shit like that. You only was married for 2 years and your divorce lasting longer than your marriage did. Just sometimes you gotta butt out, can you? She was like 2 years. Does that negate my opinion? Ralph was like, it kind of does. It's like 10 plus years over here. How long is it? 11 years, I think. How long they been married? 8 years or something like that. I don't remember. So at this point when Kenya is talking to Ralph, Drew comes back out. So Andy asking Drew and Ralph, y'all want to say anything else to each other? Ralph was just like, I love my wife, and I just want her to be happy. That's what means the world to me, to see her happy, whatever that means. So Andy has Drew explain her new song that she's going to be performing. It's called Throw Us Away. She says basically something she wrote when her and Ralph started going through they problems and stuff. So they cut for break, and Ralph gets up to ask Drew if she's okay. She's like, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta pretend like you care. So Ralph, he just walk away. Throw us away. So Drew ass starts performing her song, right? So mind you, Ralph sitting on her left. So she's sitting in Andy's seat now. Andy's like, oh, it's so weird sitting down here with you ladies, but I think I like my seat better. So Drew's in Andy's spot. She starts singing her song, and she started, do she hit it better than me? Do she start singing at Drew? I don't even remember the lyrics, but she ain't gonna do it like me. Just singing at him like you ruined that, you threw us away, singing to him. It was super awkward. Everybody notices afterwards. Andy asked Ralph after the song was over, was like, what do you think of the song? And Ralph was like, oh, it's a great song. Drew is an incredible talent, and I'm happy she's doing it. So Kenya Candy sideline. It's gonna be awkward at home, child. Candy talking about something. Point. Candy cracking up at Drew singing at Ralph. So Andy was like, Drew, so Ralph being here, did that make you sing harder? Drew was like, that was one of the hardest things I had to do, and it was very awkward. I was like, at least she knows it's awkward. At least she knew it was awkward. It was very cringy. That was the wrong word they was using, awkward. It was cringy. She was like, it's not the way I would have did it, but it is what it is. Then they had Sheree take us out. I love you ladies, and I'm going to continue to push to get these ladies back in a good space, how like we used to do. Keep talking about how we used to be. And there ain't that many OGs on the show. Just Candy and Kenya. And Kenya came like season 3, I can't remember. But it's just like, come on. But that's how the reunion ended. And I saw online there was going to be a big shakeup next season. So probably ain't going to see a lot of these women next season. I ain't really tripping if none of them come back. I really don't care. As long as they bring some fresh faces that's funny and a little shady, I am cool with that. Those are my only little predictions for next season. I don't care if they get rid of the whole cast. I ain't really geeking if anybody stay or go. But yeah, thanks for watching my review. And please comment below what you thought of the reunion, what you thought about what I talked about, if I forgot anything, if I was off on anything, what you would grade the reunion part 2, all that good bad stuff. Comment below. And like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I don't only review the Housewives, I review other shows as well. Like I said earlier, I just finished reviewing The Chi, and now I'm about to go review Tommy's Power. So I will see y'all in the next review. Hopefully it's Tommy's Power Force. Peace.